Alright guys, I wanted to make sure I got another video in this week of the viewer suggested Headrush rigs. And I'm still baffled why this won't focus on the screen that well. But that's actually a lot better than it usually is. So what I'm going to do is just go into our set list here, and we do have 19 rigs in here so far. Last time we worked on Supernatural, Stem D80 Marshall, LaGrange, and then All Country. Alright, so let's go to new rig and see what we can come up with here. I got a new guitar this week, and it's the I can't really see it. It's a Reverend Sensei RAFM. So RA is the rail hammer pickups, and then I think the FM is just like a flame maple top kind of thing. So it's pretty cool stuff. All right, so there's 2 people watching so far. If you have any suggestions, go ahead and let me know. I'm going to be playing through my studio monitors, and I was thinking about hooking up the FRFR, but it's just like, well, studio monitors is just as good, so it's fine. Alright, so let me turn the volume up, and there we are. And I might actually play along with a guitar backing track after we build a rig, just to see how it sounds in context with some other music. So let me know in the comments if you like to do backing tracks or not. I think they're pretty cool. It's a good way to work on melodies and different scale ideas and whatnot. Okay. This might be... I'm going to turn Bluetooth off. There we go. Alright, sorry about that. I had a different audio configuration earlier. Alright, so here's a blank rig. So when you think about, let's go over some concepts here. So when you think about a clean tone, what kind of amp do you normally think about? Okay, leave your comments down below. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Kevin. So I made a rig yesterday with the Mesa Boogie. All right, make sure we're still going here. And what I'm going to do, hopefully my wife doesn't call. I might have to, I can't. Oh no. Alright, that's not good. Going. My wife is trying to call me. Nathan, what are you doing? Let's look at the Princeton amp. And Princetons are normally 15, 20 watts, somewhere in there. Alright, so this is with the volume at 50%. Treble and bass is also at 50%. But with this amp, if you want it to stay clean, you're going to have to change the output level here. So I got my 3 bars below 0, which is pretty much right where I need it. But if I start cranking up the treble and the bass a little bit, see what happens here. Okay. Not too bad. But if we start cranking up the volume, all right, so there's a few different ways to either get a clean tone or a dirty tone. There's a few different ways to either get a clean tone or a dirty tone from one amp. And it really just depends on what kind of sound you're going for. So I know there's like a good edge of breakup kind of tone. Something like that. But if you don't want edge of breakup, just turn it down until it cleans up. Maybe put it on your middle pickup. Alright, and that stays nice and clean. So, alright, now this amp does have a speed control. So we've got vibrato. Alright, let's go for a Buffalo Springfield kind of sound. So, something's happening here. Okay, and we can actually back off the intensity of that a little bit. And maybe slow it down a little bit here. Back in the day. Well, I'm trying to think of like tremolo songs. And that was just the first thing that came to my mind. So let's do an old school spring reverb. Let's do mono. Turn the mix down a little bit. I'm actually trying to think of how the song is played. See, I like thinking of all these different tones because it forces me to be like, all right, I know the song, I know what it sounds like, but can I actually play like all the different riffs and stuff? So, Buffalo Springfield, for what it's worth. Hey, now what's that sound? And this song, or this band, had Neil Young in it, which is pretty classic.
This is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, this is nice.
How did you make the dip so rich and creamy?
Oh, it's a Philadelphia.
Family recipe.
It's a family recipe, folks. Okay, here's another song you can do too. Jeez. There they are in all their glory. See, what's funny about these old TV shows is, like, I think they were just lip syncing. There's no way they'd have a clean audio recording of a live performance like that. I don't even think that guy's plugged in. Who knows? It's weird. Alright, but there's a basic clean tone. So we can crank up the reverb a little bit. So let's put a little bit more intensity on that vibrato. And maybe turn down the mix of the reverb. Dun, 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 dun. Maybe turn down the speed a little bit. What key are we in? E. That sound there was going down. All right. Okay with that. Sounds pretty good. I'm still not too fond of the spring reverb. It's just me personally. Maybe if you put the diffuse on and kind of roll the tone off more. All right. Another song you could do this for. Let me check the, let's warm this up. Alright, I think it sounds good. A little Royer 121. We'll save it as a new rig. We're going to call it, Buffalo. Buffalo Spring. I don't know. Whatever. Another song you can use for this is the December by Collective Soul. So it goes like this. And that's one I actually remember from my youth. So I'm going to take the amp and the cab out. Just keep the reverb in there. And who knows, maybe Buffalo Springfield wants a little boost. Some white boost in there. So gain down, volume up. Okay, that's cool. Let's put it after the amp so it's an actual volume boost. Gain. Bass down, treble up. Maybe Buffalo's gonna start rocking out a little bit harder here. All right, that works for me. Any other suggestions here? Yeah, let's think of what's another CCR song we can do. CCR. Let's do Fortunate Son. That doesn't have tremolo, but that's a good kind of edge of breakup kind of sound. So let's see if we can mimic that one. If we don't have a commercial coming up here. Alright, we got something. Oh, I gotta see that movie. Oh yeah. All right. So what we're going to go for here is, I'm thinking of like a small amp. I mean tiny, super tiny amp. Let's go with the Tweed Princeton. Only got 2 knobs on there. Let's do an Alnico Blue cab, on axis, 57 up in that grill, yo. And I'm totally not playing this right. Found it. Got it, folks. All right, cool. All right, so we only have 2 options here. We're gonna crank the tone, see where that gets us. Oh yeah. Crank the volume here. We don't want it too crunchy, because when you dig into a real tube amp, it naturally crunches up. So all right, let's see what kind of tones we got. All right, so we're staying in the crunch range here. Some for the bone, in a folded hand. Ooh, the railroad of blue, yeah, da 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 da. They didn't really have tube screamers back then, did they? I don't know what they had back then. Maybe like a tone bender, or maybe a treble booster or something. I don't know. We don't really need tons of reverb on this. I don't hear reverb on the song that much. Let's make it sound like they're in a like a small theater. They would usually play in a small theater, right? Alright. Maybe not. Listen. I mean, all this is dry, like bone dry. Like dry to the bone. Alright, maybe we don't need reverb. Big theater. I know back in the day they used plate reverb in the studio. So maybe let's put like a small plate on there. Alright, so what did I do right there? So I had a sound in my head, and I was like, what kind of amp can I use to get that sound? And if I know it's going to be a cranked up kind of amp, I'm kind of thinking about the era. You know, they didn't really have humongous amps at that point. They probably had maybe like a Vox AC30. So I don't know. We can keep that in here. Let's double this up. Let's add in a Vox AC30. So maybe he has 2 amps that he's playing through, and he's getting like, you know, tones from each or something. Bring the cut back. Interesting. Soon falls upon, yeah. Okay, kind of baffled what's going on here. Let's not do it that way, and let's just put it in series. Or let's do this kind of thing. So we'll have 1 amp here and the other amp over here. What were you doing? Vox AC 30. There we go. Okay. I'm hearing the difference now. So it didn't take much to get these amps kind of cooking a little bit. And I want you to see that, you know, for those who do not have a Headrush or a GIGBOARD or any kind of this unit, all I have to do is just take my finger and just drag back and forth for the GIGBOARD. Okay, for the big boy Headrush, you just gotta use the turn wheels right here and push your finger up and down. You can get to the different parameters. But with the GIGBOARD, you only got 4 switches down here and no other knobs, so it's all touchscreen. All with your finger. Alright, we're going to call this... I'm going to turn that reverb a little bit. Alright. We're going to call this CCR Rocks. And this would be a decent tone just for any kind of classic rock, 60s era, early 70s. I mean, just a good rock tone. Just small tweed amp, Vox AC 30. Yeah, this has got an Alnico blue cabinet. We can mess around with, maybe they use a Norman 87 in the studio, right? And I used to like using some of the IRs I've downloaded over the last few months, but really, I mean, I've grown to love just the stock cab, pick a microphone, and some cabs don't really match up with like maybe a heavier gain amp. Like if you try to use like a tweed 1x12 with a Marshall stack or with a Marshall head, doesn't really sound that great, but as long as you have a decent sized cabinet with a 12-inch speaker and a any one of the mics works. I'm not a big fan of the 409. I just don't like the way the sound is. MD421s are great. SM57s or Ribbon Royer 121s. Any of those would be perfect for any kind of rock thing. So ow! Alright, let's do hardware sign. Take these amps and cabs out because we don't need all that, man. We're gonna put a little reverb in there, and let's put a they did have a tri-fuzz back then though. Due to Clea. Let's make it purple or pink. And let's see what we... So it's like we're going to go play at Woodstock or something. We're going to show up with our little tweed amps and our Electro Harmonics Big Muff Pie, and we're just going to rock out. Okay, so I'm kind of going classic rock tonight, if you couldn't tell already. Alright, I think that's good. Let's do another one. Alright, any other suggestions? Let me check. Yeah. Still CCR. All right, let me do some searching here. This is supposed to be viewer suggested, so if you got any suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, Google is going to be our suggestion tonight. Oh yeah. Da, do, da, do, do, do. All right, we're gonna do 60s rock songs. The House of the Rising Sun, Tambourine Man, Born to Be Wild. Ooh, that's a good one. All right, let's kind of get this tone here. See what happens. I think we can do it. After this commercial. From our locally sponsored programs. Yeah. Here we go. All right, so I'm hearing a very bright kind of tone. So, I mean, this could be any number of amps, really, but I'm kind of thinking a Tweed Bassman, maybe. Let's put a 4x10 with it. On axis SM57. Actually, let's go Norman 67. I think it's kind of brighter. Okay, maybe not. There we go. That's what I want to hear right there. All right. I'm hearing one guitar part in the left speaker. I'm hearing a Hammond B3 organ in the right speaker. Bass is also in the right speaker. Drums may be up the middle. No, I'm hearing guitar on the left and everything else really on the right, and the vocals are up the middle. No, sorry. I'm hearing vocals on the left and guitar on the left, everything else on the right. This is a weird mix. This is weird, guys. Plug my phone in here. All right, so we don't die. All right, let's crank up the treble. Let's turn the bright up more. Turn the treble up, presence up. Turn the... All right, cool. Let's crank the mids up, see what that does. Makes it rock more. Here's about some bass. Alright, so you notice that my volume really isn't up that loud. Turn the bass back down. Don't need a lot of bass when you're rocking. Turn the presence all the way up. Alright. I'm just going for like, I know there's a bright guitar sound in this song, so. Yeah, it's kind of. Almost sounds like it's scooped a little bit. I'm kind of tempted to put a graphic EQ in there. Let's see what happens. So our low is the 100 hertz, low mid is 370. Let's turn down the mids, which is 800. Alright, why did I go for 800 hertz? Those are the mid-range. And I'm hearing a lot of treble in this song. Not treble, but treble. And it's just kind of a thin sounding guitar. So, see what happens if I bypass this. Like so. Like so. I can even go as far as maybe turning down the 370 range. Something like that. Alright, I'm going to take it back. I'm going to boost the 800 mids, or 800 frequency, and cut 370. This is going to help the honkiness kind of poke out a little bit more. Alright, that makes it nice and thin. Now that might have been a preset in there. Maybe like a thin preset or something, but I don't know. I'll go with that. I'll go with that. That's fine. Alright, no reverb. Don't need a reverb for this. Born to be wild. Born to be wildered. Alright, that works. Alright, folks. I'm just cranking right through here. Steve Vai, Ballerini. Come on, man. Nobody knows how to play Steve Vai. I'll check it out, though. Alright, let's do Sunshine of Your Love. And more than likely, we'll do a Marshall with a
for help, we answer. Even at 3 o'clock in the morning. Try it.
Yeah, light my fire. We can do that. We're gonna keep it old school tonight, boys.
Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Come here and light my fire. Do, do, do. Now, if you know Eric Clapton back in the 60s, he had the woman tone where he's playing a SG. He had the middle pickup or the middle position selected, and he was rolling off either the treble or the neck pickup a little bit. So it was kind of getting a dark sound. I have a humbucker guitar, but I don't have that kind of tone controls. So what I'm going to do is make a new rig. Let's pull up a Marshall J45. because we can. We're gonna put in a classic 30-watt amp, 57 on the grill, on axis, and the gain on this song is not that much. So see what happens. Alright, so just if you have a guitar on hand with Les Paul style tone controls, or really just any guitar where you have a tone control, roll it down right now and just play. So it really doesn't matter what the amp is. I mean, as long as you can roll off the tone like that, that's gonna make it really that womany kind of tone. Now we can try and do this with the EQ. Let me crank the tone up a little bit. Crank up the mids. Let's do EQ, and we'll do graphic. We'll do dark. So we're gonna roll off the highs here, kind of boost the mids. There we go. So roll the highs all the way down, high mids all the way down. Boost some 800 hertz. Alright, so it's close. Then if we take that concept and we put a let's put a tri-fuzz in there. Sustain down, tone down. I don't know. Big Muff is a little bit too much. A little too much for that. Checking the chat here again. Wilson Pickett, Mustang Sally. What? What? Yeah, I have to check that out. Steve Vai. Now, I know he had a wall pedal going on in there. So I'm not gonna hook my wall pedal up right now, but just know that it's in there. And we can maybe turn the pedal down halfway. That's interesting. Yeah, something you can mess around with. Let's take the EQ out and put the wall pedal in there. Not bad. See what happens. Mid's down. All right, there's a few different options for you. Let's go to hardware assign, take the amp and cab out. Maybe we'll mess around with the wall and the EQ. So we're gonna call this Sun Cream. Get it? Sun Cream. Sunscreen. Sunshine of your love cream. Something like that. Some of these factory presets that come with the Headrush are weirdly named. I guess to protect the copyright of the original title or something. So yeah, I'll come up with my own. All right, let me go back. I have a horrible memory. Wilson Pickett. The Doors, Light My Fire. Okay, let's do that one next. Light my fire. So we're going old school tonight, folks.
This is Bill. Like business owners everywhere, he chose Spectrum Business.
You go, Bill.
Works hard to keep his business running smoothly. Take a look.
This is an actress.
940 megabits.
She's been on Hallmark movies. I know that woman anywhere. Man. Alright, so I'm assuming that you want to listen to the guitar solo, because there's not tons of guitar stuff going on in here. There's like a little rhythm movement, but not like things you can actually hear. Alright, so I hear a little bit of it there. It's funny, I just got a welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Okay, I don't know what the community guidelines are, but so I'm hearing a high, kind of a trebly kind of tone again. Down. I don't know what key this is in. Alright, so slightly flat. It's like an A flat kind of key, which is interesting. So, Robbie Krieger. Let's go back. I don't know what kind of amps he used. Maybe he used a Fender Super Reverb, possibly. Maybe like a Fender Twin. I just don't know. All right, he definitely has a little bit of crunch going on there. So let's crank up the amp a little bit. Treble, bass down, mids up. A little too much crunch. All right, there's a little bit of spring reverb going on there. Let's do standard. Now, I did see somebody ask me about why I'm putting the cab last and the wet effects after the amp. Well, I'm treating this area as my effects loop, even though I don't have an effects loop block in there. So that's why I do that. I had the diffuse on. Let's turn the decay up, mix down. Alright, I think it's good. You notice I don't have tons of stuff in here. So lighter fluid, doors. So there you go. Alright, I'm okay with that. Let's go back to the chat. Wilson Pickett, and how about some Hendrix? Alright, cool. Mustang Sally, yeah, yeah. You better run that Mustang down. Come on, Wilson. Mr. Pickett, what you doing? Mr. Pickett, yeah, yeah.
Right now, I'm all about Planet Fitness. It's only $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment. Now through January 15th, get down with your judgment-free self. Come join.
Boom, 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 digga, boom, 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 boom. All right, here we go.
Now through January 15th, join for $1 down, $10 a month, no
It's in the key of C. Classic blues scale. All right, we're still going with classic amps here, so let's go with the Black Duo. Can't get more classic than that. Let's stay with the silver cone on axis, 57 on that grill, yo. Alright, so alright, maybe not. I'm not gonna go Black Duo. I'm gonna go Princeton Reverb with this one. Show am. I'm gonna go with the Cab Link on. We're gonna crank the volume, or crank the treble and the volume. Okay. Alright, so I don't think they're going down to the F. I just think they're going boom, 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 Alright, so if you don't want it to crunch up as much, just turn the volume down. And then you can check the output. So we got 3 bars below 0. That's perfect. This is a silver cone. Let's put this on a Tweed Lux amp. Kind of sounds a little bit smaller, which is fine. We'll round it out with a Royer. No, I don't like it. I'm hearing like a hollowness a little bit there. 57 on that grill. And let's pretend like we're in a studio. And we're gonna put like a medium room. And we're going to turn the mix down a little bit. I can use my finger to do that. Turn the tone down. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And let's turn the volume back up a little bit. All right, we're at 54 minutes right now. I'm going to go like an hour tonight. We're going to do Mustang Sally. I'm not going to be fancy with this one. Just call it what it is. Okay, 5 more minutes. Hey, Rodney. All right, we're gonna do some Hendrix, and so save. We're gonna do new rig. Hendrix had, you know, Marshall stacks. So let's just go with a let's go with the plexiglass 100, and we're gonna double that cab because we're gonna go all out. We're gonna do an MD 421, and we're gonna do SM57, both on axis. Oh, I don't like it. I like the 20 watt greenbacks a little bit better than the 25 watt. See what we're doing here. Presence. I like Fire. By Jimmy. Or Hey Joe. Hey Joe's a good one too. Let's do Hey Joe. Hey Joe. I'm choosing that one because I can probably remember how to play it, maybe. Alright, so this is a fairly simple setup. We're just using a Marshall. And I'm not playing a Strat right now. I am playing a humbucker guitar. So, and Jimmy really didn't use a whole lot of stuff. Though I can't remember what the chords are. I think it's too dirty. He doesn't get too, he stays fairly clean on this song, so. Found it. All right, it's B flat F C G. So. Alright, so you're probably going to have to pick up a Strat if you have a Strat. And let's just say for fun, we'll put in a, Big Muff. Actually, let's do this. Let's do the 8-bit Crush and put it on some weird setting. Because he uses a fuzz face for the most part. So we're just have to find one that doesn't sound too broken. Like that one sounds weird. That one sounds weird. That sounds poo. Maybe I won't use this. Yeah, these are weird. Alright, that one actually is not too bad. So I'm going to use that one just for a little bit of breakup. And just to use it as like a texture for the Marshall. And And this will be the last one tonight. I think I've gone for like an hour or so. So, Marshall amp, let's go ahead and crank up a little bit more. Alright, cool. So that 8-bit crush, I'm using the D default. And still not quite sure how all this works yet, but it's, you know, just gotta kind of go through and pick a setting that sounds halfway decent and then just go with it. Maybe you can tweak on it from there. Alright, so we're gonna do we're gonna say hey Jimmy. And that's it. Alright, so let's go back through our songs. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Woo! Good job, guys. We really cranked it out tonight. 7 rigs. Okay. So we did Buffalo Springfield, so oh, what key are we in? Sorry. Alright, I'm still not happy with that reverb. Let's turn it down. Alright. I like that one. Let's go CCR Rocks, which is the... Take out the tri-fuzz. Check the output. That's good. Let's check the input. Alright, we're good with that. Cool. Born to be Wild. Alright, that one's good. Here's Sun Cream. Black Wall. Interesting. Here's the EQ. All right. Lighter fluid. Okay, you can play some bluesy stuff with that. Here's Mustang Sally. Alright, that one's good. And Hey Jimmy. Alright, so you guys tweak that to your little heart's content. I'm just kind of listening to the songs, using my ear, getting as close as I can. You don't have to be exact with this kind of stuff. Just have fun with it. And, you know, if it sounds like a small amp that's cranked up, then pick a small amp and crank it up. That's all you got to do. If it sounds like a big amp, if you know it's Jimmy, put a big Marshall stack in there. If you know it's maybe like a 70s era Eric Clapton, put in like a small tweed amp. That's pretty much all they used on those 70s albums. The small Fender amps. And that's really about it. If it's some kind of like heavy 80s kind of thing, Marshall JCM 800. Maybe use a Saldano if you want to. Just spice it up. Once you start getting into like metal, definitely go for like the Mezzo Boogie kind of sounds, Saldano kind of sounds, Bogner, any kind of heavy amp is pretty much going to do the trick. So don't make it, don't make it harder on yourself than it has to be. Just use your ears, pick something, and luckily we didn't do a whole lot of songs that have like weird effects like chorus and tremolo and vibrato, phase, stuff like that. Maybe next time we'll pick some songs that really have a unique sound, kind of like that Steve Vai kind of thing. I'll do some more weird out there kind of stuff next time. But for tonight, I was I was gonna go to a blues jam and it got canceled because everyone was sick. So I was like, well, I'll just come home and turn on the Headrush or the GIGBOARD, whatever you have, and just cook up some juicy tones. So